Okay, hello everybody, welcome to TìandTarot, or welcome back to TìandTarot if you've been here before. So today's reading is going to be all about what is going to be changing for you in 2026. So we have 3 piles for you to choose from today. We have pile 1, 2 and 3, and there's several ways that you can actually pick your pile. So you can pick your pile based on the energy of the pile, whether or not you're intuitively drawn to it, which is the more traditional way of choosing your pile. You can also pick your pile based on the number of the pile or based on the numbers in the timestamps below that are linked to your pile. You can also pick your pile based on the crystal or object on top. So if you do like to pick your pile with crystals, I will get into those with you now. So for pile 1 we have some strawberry agate, for pile 2 we have some green moss agate, and for pile 3 we have a smoky quartz egg. And one other way that you can pick your pile is based on the zodiac sign associated with your pile, which I will pull for you now. So for pile 1 we have Cancer, Aries, Libra and Capricorn. For pile 2 we have Pisces, Gemini, Sagittarius and Taurus. And for pile 3 we have Virgo, Aquarius, Leo and Scorpio. Once you have picked your pile, there will be a timestamp in the description box below for you to find your reading more easily, and I will meet you there. Bye! Okay, hello my pile 1s, welcome to your reading. So you picked pile 1 with the Libra, Capricorn, Cancer and Aries and the strawberry quartz. I believe they're strawberry quartz. Why do I feel like it's cherry though? I could be wrong. So anyways, let's get into your cards. So firstly, you have the Emperor. That's very witchy, very mystical. Next up, we have the Queen of Swords and the 7 of Swords as well. Why does that look so cool? That looks like really aligned. And then I actually accidentally pulled way too many of these for every pile. They just kind of fell out, so we're going to roll with it. Yeah, definitely a spiritual pile. You've got the black cat, the guide, and then you have crystal as well. Okay. Communication is happening somewhere, but I don't know if it's in like the physical world. I feel like it's more the spiritual world. Something's happening. You're definitely becoming a leader in something from a situation. Okay, so I think something about you is fundamentally changing in 2026, and it's to do with a betrayal that you faced, especially with the 7 of Swords, you know, kind of walking away from betrayal, arguments, disagreements, situations that didn't align with you. But you're becoming very empowered because of that. For some reason, it's kind of like a, I'm not going to take any shit anymore kind of attitude. That's the vibe I'm getting. Because you're then going to up-level into this queen who is really good at communicating, who holds her own, is very direct. So maybe if you were someone who, like, you didn't tell people when they did shit to you that was hurtful. You didn't tell them and you kind of harbored it up within inside of you to then build resentment and then explode later. Maybe that's because people weren't safe for you to kind of discuss those feelings with. Like maybe they actually created quite a hostile environment to where if you said, hey, this thing hurt me, they would kind of call you names about it or tell you you're being dramatic or try and just reason and justify why they do what they do and then not change. So it's like it kind of has hardened you into this person who eventually, by 2026, you're no longer doing that. You're standing up for yourself, and that means in the moment when someone hurts you, you give them the opportunity to change by telling them, hey, this thing that you said really hurts. Don't do that again. And you give them the opportunity to change. And then whether they change or don't, that's then the chance for you to then make your decision and revisit that. From there as well, you're so much more protective and defensive of yourself. Like you're not going to allow people to walk all over you and continue to disrespect that boundary once you've set it. And I think it's almost like a spiritual awakening for you because you're becoming this really strong, direct, courageous leader, especially in terms of communication. This is why I keep talking about you voicing something, whether you didn't voice it in the past and then you're voicing it now, because your communication style is really, really becoming so amazing and like eloquent, and like you're just really holding your own. And the reason that's coming in for me as well, there's more than just these cards over here. With these cards, the crystal card is a reference to the fact that you're supposed to be able to pick up energies through crystals. You can kind of get a touch transfer of energy. So like, let's say a crystal was like mined unethically, and there's a lot of like sadness and turmoil around that crystal. By touching that crystal and picking it up, that negative energy kind of transfers onto you. Or let's say, for example, there's a crystal that means a lot to you, like it has sentimental value, maybe it reminds you of a loved one, then that crystal is transferring that energy to you. It's giving you that sense of comfort and peace, and like you're still surrounded by them. And that's also why we cleanse crystals, because crystals can trap and store energy that can transfer onto you. So for me, crystals are in a way a type of communication. It can literally carry a story from one place to another, from where it was taken to where it was given and where it ended up, from a person to a person. So for example, if it reminds you of a loved one that passed, it carries a story with it. So it's almost, in a sense, a type of communication. Along with the guide and the black cat, I feel like you're going to be getting spiritual support. And there's almost like a sense of communication there where like spirits are communicating with you. Maybe not directly, maybe not like that, but maybe like in your dreams or through energy transfer, for example. It's like all of a sudden you're going to feel this surge of like, I'm not going to take anymore. Like, it's almost like you were kind of walking in a dazed state where you were so stunned by everything you've been through and so pushed down and just so emotionally overwhelmed that you were just kind of like almost like a zombie just walking through life. And then all of a sudden this like energy in 2026 is just going to surge through you. And that's the spirit talking to you and being like, you need to wake up and stand up for yourself and stop letting this happen. Stop allowing people to walk all over you. Like, pick up that sword and defend yourself. Step into this queen energy. Step into this emperor leadership energy. Don't be like a backseat driver. Be the front seat driver. Like, it's time to start taking the lead in your life and setting the precedent for what you will and won't tolerate, and communicating that. Maybe even speaking to others and becoming some sort of leader who shares these ideas with people. So it could be maybe having your own podcast, like something to do with the voice, or maybe creating songs or something like that. But it's something to do with you communicating a story to people. Maybe it's even writing your own story in a book. But that's something that's coming through really, really clearly. And with the black cat as well, the black cat is supposed to represent this kind of like, I don't give a shit energy. Like, people have all these ideas about you, these misconceptions, these superstitions, and they might be true. Like, this is a very spiritual card. But at the same time, it's like you're going to walk around like you're untouchable and be like, and what? You can think all those things all you like, but I'm going to keep respawning and keep coming back. Because no matter how hard people tried to eradicate the cats during the witch trials, they kept coming back, okay? Like, we've got so many in today's day and age. We've actually got a bit of an issue, actually, where there's too many populating right now. So it's kind of like that. No matter how many times people try to push you back into your box and say, stop standing up to me, stop trying to set your boundaries, you don't matter, you're not important, you don't deserve respect, you're going to keep pushing back and being like, actually I do, like, and also I don't need it from you because I'm not necessarily asking you. So it's like that, like you're taking back your power in a sense, and that power is 100% tied to the other world, to spirits. For some reason, there is definitely spiritual guidance, maybe in the form of cats or black cats specifically. So it's like your guide is within the cat, like your cat is the guide. So it could even be that as well, especially because with the crystal, I forgot to even say, the whole reason I drew this was at the time my cat had passed away. And so crystals were kind of, the meaning of crystals was kind of popping into my head because I bought this Peace Jasper bracelet because his name was Jasper, to kind of remind me of him. And I was thinking about that kind of communication in the sense of like, this bracelet communicates peace to me, it communicates like feeling at ease, feeling like he's with me, and it communicates a lot because, bit of a spooky story, one time I thought like I was wearing this for like a year, and then about a year later, for some reason that day I was just like, I felt like, okay, I'm ready for Jasper to move on. If he's stayed with me, he can move on, go live his life. I'm sure he's moved on, I feel it. Like, I kept saying to everyone I felt it. Anyway, I'm just sitting there minding my goddamn business, not doing anything. And the bracelet like explodes and all the beads go everywhere. And I just felt like, for sure that was confirmation that he is gone and has moved on in some kind of way. And then I was like devastated because I was like, I'm not ready. Not funny, but I like to make jokes out of my misery. So anyways, you know, good coping mechanism. So for me, this card is also technically tied to cats in a way, because the whole reason I made it was with my cat in mind, my first childhood pet cat. And so for some reason cats are coming in for you as a symbol, and even if you don't have a cat in your life who is a guide, it could be stray cats, like whenever you see a cat about, that's a symbol for you. But also think about what cats represent, you know, independence, setting boundaries, standing up for themselves. If you touch them too much, you know, they'll fight back. If they don't want to cuddle you, they won't cuddle you. They're not a people pleaser. You know, they're going to do what they want to do. And these are all things cats represent. And so that's really, I feel like you're having a complete energy shift in 2026. That's what you're embodying. You're embodying the cat, you know, you're embodying that behavior. You're embodying that mentality and that energy that you're exuding of mystery, of like, I don't give a shit, of spirituality and of independence and a strong, powerful boundary setter. That's really strongly what's coming in for you, I think. So I also wanted to these might be completely irrelevant and completely throw off the whole reading, but I really wanted to use these. So I'm also just going to pull some of these to see if there's any other changes for you in 2026 that we need to know about. It could also still relate to the message that we've kind of got on the board today. Okay, I don't know which ones it is. So let's just take this top one. Okay. So I've taken the top one and the two that kind of came out. So we have obsessive lover, dangerous, toxic, unhealthy, possessive, karmic. We have creativity, steals your ideas, copies your work, duplicates, feeds off you. And we have impersonator, wants to be you, acts like, dresses like, looks like, copies you. This might be where your boundaries are coming in, because people seem to be walking all over you with obsessive lover, you know, people not taking no for an answer. So I think you're going to be standing up for yourself about this kind of stuff. And then over here with like impersonator, creativity, people are judging you and pushing you back down into your box, into your place, so that they can take your like identity, they can be you, because they find all these qualities about you, these black cat qualities, admirable. But they don't want you to have them, they want to have them. They're stealing your energy, stealing your creativity. There are people who want to keep you in your place that they've kind of pushed you in, and they don't want you to get out. And that's for their own personal agenda. And these are the people that you're standing up against for sure. These are the people that you're like, hang on a minute, that was my idea, or that was my, you know, outfit, or this is my life and you can't try to control it or take it from me. So I can see you standing up against all these different types of people. I also wanted to roll some advice for you with the angel number dice. So we have the number 10. So I'm going to look up what the number 10 is in my book, because I don't know it off by heart. Your ask for help will be answered and your worries will soon fade. So maybe you've been asking for help and knowing how to stand up for yourself, set those boundaries, push back. That's really interesting. And Spirit is on the other side communicating back to you. These are all spiritual cards. Like, that's just crazy. I think if this is something you're really struggling with in terms of setting boundaries, it really does just start as small as being present and saying it in the moment and not allowing it to linger and fester and build up. Like, for example, I once had a friend who we were just getting to know each other, so like we didn't really know each other that well, and he did something that bothered me. And I was gonna just not say anything and let it pass, but then I was like, no, because then resentment's gonna build up and then you're gonna blow up at him in like 6 months' time and then like ruin the friendship. And I was like, in the moment right now, pause and just tell him that that pissed you off, and like, but say it in a constructive way. Give him the chance to change and see if he does actually change. If he doesn't, then you know this isn't a good friend for you. But if he changes, fab. So I paused him and was like, hey, just so you know, it really bothers me when... So for me personally, it bothers me if someone's like, shush, hush, or like, shut up, or whatever. And there had been a few times where, like, let's say we're watching a movie, it'd just be like, shush, if I'm talking. And I was like, just so you know, it really bothers me when you do that. It makes me sad, hurts my feelings. If you want me to be quiet because maybe I'm talking over a show or like doing too much, just say, hey, hold on one second, I just want to hear this, and then we can keep talking, because I find that much less disrespectful than sort of the instant demand, like I'm a dog, to shush. And he immediately was like, okay, no worries, sorry about that, and literally never told me to shush again. And I was flabbergasted. I was like, what kind of healthy fucking relationship is this? I was like, what's happening right now? Because I've never had that before, where someone was just like, okay, you know? And it was scary to put my feelings out there, because usually I'd be told like, oh, you're a drama queen, you're being dramatic, that wasn't my intention, so get over it. So to have someone be like, okay, yeah, I'll do that, sorry, didn't realise it offended you, was so refreshing and so confusing at the same time. And I was like, okay, alright then. And then the same thing happened again. Like, there was another thing that I was like, he doesn't know that this bothers me, but it bothers me, so let me just bring it up. Brought it up, and once again, it was just like a time, respecting each other's time issue. And once again, he was like, cool, no worries, like I won't do that again, and literally never did it again, and was more honest, so that we could work out a better like time, a respect of each other's time. So it's so weird, because it does depend who you're talking to, but when you're in those moments where you're talking to someone who isn't receptive, so as I said, those people who, you know, used to call me a drama queen if like I brought up what was hurting me, or something they did that, you know, hurt my feelings, they would, you know, call me a drama queen, things like that, and not take accountability, and then would do it again and again. When you're in situations like that, it's really up to you in that moment, unfortunately, to stand up for yourself and say, okay, listen, I've pointed this out to you several times, you're not changing, I can't give you another chance. Like, I can't teach you, I'm not your mum, I can't teach you to be a better person. If you're going to choose to not be a better person, then we're just not compatible. And it's for me personally, I am someone who will just walk away. If I've given you chance time and time again to change, and you're not changing, I will just walk away, no problems. But I'm not recommending that for you, because maybe you're a little bit stronger than me, or maybe more mature than me, to kind of stick through and work it out. But I personally don't feel like you have to stick through and work it out. If something's not working, fuck it. Like, it's not working, we're not compatible then. Especially if I've given you chance time and time again, because it's like, okay, then where do we go from here? There's nowhere else we can go other than round and round. And I don't want to do that. So it's about standing up for yourself, but just doing it in a right way, with that communication in a way that's like really effective. Like, you're really getting your point across. This shit's over. Or like, this isn't working, or you need to stop doing this. Like, and being really effective in that way. Also, sometimes it can help if you give people choices, because it makes them feel like they're still in control of the conversation. Even if you're the one setting the boundary, you can actually give them options. And finish with your option as the second option, so give them two options, and then your second option is going to be what you want to come out of the situation, because 9 times out of 10, people remember the last thing that's said to them. So you could just do that as well, to just try to establish some basic boundaries and respect, if that's something you're really struggling with. But I'm sure there's lots of videos out there that kind of talk about this stuff, how to set boundaries, what to do next if someone isn't respecting those boundaries. Unfortunately, it's kind of like a learn by experience thing, but there's probably people who do educate on this stuff online, so it could be worth checking that out as well. But that's what I'm seeing for you, Pole 1. I am seeing some sort of spiritual assistance and alliance. Like, if you ever ask for help, Spirit is going to be there next year. Like, they're going to be there at your every beck and call. But on top of that, Spirit is actually going to give you some sort of energy transfer to take you out of this stuck energy and bring you back into the present moment, so that you can communicate your needs. And you're up leveling to like this leader queen space here. So that is what I see for you, Pole 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. And if you felt drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Tuesday and Thursdays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye! Okay, hello my Pole 2s. So you chose Pole 2, of course, with the Pisces, Gemini, Taurus and Sagittarius and the green moss agate. And these are your cards, so let's get into them. Oh, okay, we have the Strength card. Love that. We also have Temperance. Oh, that's really interesting. Okay, the Strength with Temperance. I might actually be giving you a very different message to Pole 1. Let's see. Okay, so we have Community. We have Nighttime. We have Book Nook. we have magic flower. And we have reaching out. Okay, so straight away, something that's going to be changing for you is you're going to be getting a lot of contact with other people. I think your community will be building, because you're almost coming out of this daydreamy, introverted phase of like what you used to hope for or fantasize about, the kind of life you would fantasize about. Maybe the type of connections specifically you would fantasize about are coming out of that book nook and coming into reality, because your community is building. And this can also be a spiritual community, especially with the reaching out card. So I would just keep an eye on that and make sure that you're protected in your dreams, and also when you are like alone in your house, just remember to say like nothing is welcome here. I don't welcome anything here. Like if you're ever feeling like an energy or a presence in your house that you kind of don't want with that reaching out card. But another meaning with the reaching out card and the nighttime card over here is definitely like twofold. So some of your anxieties about making connections with other people are going to be put to sleep a little bit. They're going to be resolved in 2026. You're going to be feeling a lot better about the worries you were having about meeting your community, finding your friends, finding your people. But on top of that, with reaching out and nighttime, this can be about maybe people messaging you late at night, you know, trying to slide into your DMs or trying to see what you're doing, trying to see what you're about. And so it's interesting that you've got strength and temperance, because it's reminding you to not get emotionally pulled into anything and remain strong in your decisions. So if you made a decision during the day that maybe you're not gonna mess around with this person, but then you're feeling lonely, you're feeling sad, you're feeling vulnerable at night, and you get that message and you're like immediately like, yeah, you know what, I'm bored, I'm sad, I'm lonely right now, let me go. Maybe just pause and balance yourself and stay strong. That's also something I'm getting. So you might get a few like hookup-y texts next year that you kind of need to stay strong to, in the sense of like, I mean, if you want to do it, go do it. But that's not the message of the cards. The message of the cards is like, stay strong, stick with your community, find solace in them more than anything else. That's the message I'm getting here, just based on what's come out. Maybe even keep yourself to yourself a little bit when it comes to those like late night messages. But also, something that's quite interesting, especially with magic flower, this basically means something whirlwindy is going to happen to you that's really unexpected, comes out of nowhere, and completely transforms your life. It might not be a comfortable transformation, it also might be, but no matter what, it's a transformation that's good for you. Even if you can't see it in the moment, it is good for you. So the way the magic flower kind of popped into my head, so I actually have the magic flower pressed between some glass, and it's like displayed in my room somewhere. And this drawing is of that magic flower, and I call it the magic flower because there's like a blossom tree or a lotus blossom tree or whatever at the bottom of my block at my childhood council estate that I grew up on. And for a time being, it just did not blossom. I swear to God, for like 10 years, it did not blossom. It still hadn't blossomed. And yet when I got home one day, on the bottom of my shoe, there was a blossom flower stuck to me. And I remember picking it up and being like, that's so weird, because there's no blossoms on the tree. And now that tree blossoms all the time, by the way. And I remember thinking, this must have it must be a special flower. It's got some significance. So I pressed it between two pieces of glass and kept it preserved. But the changes that came into my life were so unexpected in the next few weeks and really turned my life upside down. And you know what? A lot of those changes were not good. They were not fun. But it led me to where I am today, which is exactly where I wanted to be. So I do attribute that to the magic flower. So the magic flower you can kind of think of almost as the Wheel of Fortune, in a sense that there's this thing that initiates this change in your life. It's kind of like the Tower card as well. It's a little bit of those two mixed together. It's like luck, you know, the chaos, but good change. Ultimately good change that's good for you. So there's a few messages here for you, in the sense that you're going to have a few changes, big changes that are very unexpected for you, that are really going to transform your life in a good way. You might be building your community, having more friends, doing more hobbies and activities, going to things that you really enjoy. You might even have quite long distance friends as well with the community card. And with the reaching out at nighttime, with the book nook, you're kind of bringing some of your fantasies to life, or your daydreams, or, you know, the things you think about. You're kind of bringing some of those to life. But then with the reach out nighttime in conjunction with the strength and the temperance, it's also telling you to remain strong to certain things that aren't good for you, that you know aren't good for you. So for example, if people were trying to like link up with you at night, kind of just ignoring that. Make all your decisions during the daytime, okay? And then also protecting yourself spiritually is a key message coming in here, because with the reach out card, when I made that card, I left it out to dry for 3 days, because this pen takes forever to dry that I used. And for 3 days I had dreams about passed away loved ones, and I was like, why do I keep having dreams about them? And then I realised, like, I looked over and saw the reach out card. I was like, oh my god, it's putting out some sort of fucking energy into my dreams. So I put it away and I stopped having those dreams. So yeah, protect yourself, you know, from spiritual energy. Or it could be positive, because those dreams weren't necessarily negative that I had. So potentially it could also just be that if you have any loved ones that, you know, or people in your life who have passed away that maybe weren't even close to you, but maybe they're going to share like an important message with you in your dreams in 2026 as well. It could be that, because I wasn't particularly too close with any of the people that were popping into my dreams. It was just a nice encounter, you know, so it could just be something like that as well that's coming up for you. But there is a key message here of, anyway, regardless, throughout the whole year, try and make decisions from a really balanced, tempered place. Like, you're not explosive, you're not going to get like screamy, shouty, fighty, argumentative. You're going to really pour on that internal strength, that emotional strength, when you make decisions next year and when you go through things. And that's what's going to keep you grounded, especially through all of these changes, is kind of holding on to that inner peace and not letting go of that. But also recognizing when it's time to stand up for yourself in a more firm way as well. So this might completely throw off the whole reading, but I do want to pull some more cards just to see if there's like anything else that we can get. So we have hooked. Yeah, there's something about hookups, bro. There's something about you being tempted and you having to work through that and stay strong, because there might be someone you really like who's reaching out to you next year, who you're maybe, you know, isn't good for you. We have forcer. Forces things on you, forces their way in, uses force to get what they want. This could be the person you need to avoid. Obsessive lover. Oh, dangerous, toxic, unhealthy, possessive, karmic. Yeah. Then we have impersonator and creativity. Okay, I don't think I shuffled this well enough, because those exact three were from part one. But I think what we're clearly getting here is there is somebody who you do need to avoid. And that's why you're getting that temperance and strength card, because they're going to keep trying to talk to you. And that could be quite a negative energy. And they're going to try and pry on you when you're weak and vulnerable to them. And you're quite hooked on them. So you kind of need to have that internal strength in order to keep your emotions out of it, look at the situation objectively, look at their qualities, and really evaluate if this is someone that you really want to be around, and make your decision based on that as well. Okay, so let's pull you a bit of advice before we end your reading. So you have 45 as your angel number, and I'm going to go look that up for you. Also, big changes for you next year, because these are both major arcana cards. Big spiritual changes. So you have a family member needs your support. Take time to listen to them. That's crazy. Because I was literally just talking about family coming through, reaching out, maybe asking for help. And the community card is also a little bit about that. Because with the community card, I used mushrooms, because mushrooms are actually very intelligent and they do talk to each other, believe it or not. And they can actually talk to trees as well. So of course when I say talk, they don't have a voice. They're not like speaking, but they send out like little like sensory, it's like a nervous system. It's almost like a very connected nervous system. And they're communicating, and they can say about 50 different things to each other. I think it was 50, or it was like something way higher than that. But they basically have a really like advanced communication style to the same as us. But to me, this seems quite spiritual because they can heal each other through the way they're speaking. It's almost like, on top of that, when people die and like, you know, the bugs and things take all the nutrients from them, this then goes into the soil and goes into the trees and goes into the mushrooms and really helps to grow them and almost give them life. And so I see them as quite spiritual and a connection between life and death. So that's why I used mushrooms. So I find it interesting that your message is that a family member may need your help. So pay attention and listen to what they're saying, because it could be that someone needs your help but they're not going to communicate it. So you might have to actually look out for it and pay attention and just feel it. Like, for example, if you have a long distance friend and then one day you just feel like, oh, I should reach out to them and message them, do it, you know, because it could have been for a reason that you were kind of getting that feeling. Like maybe they really needed a friend to message them that day, and then you doing that just like brightens their day. So it's something like that. You definitely need to stay in tune with communication, not just in the basic form of talking, and stay spiritually tuned in as well. Okay, so that was your reading pile 2. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. And if you feel drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Tuesdays and Thursdays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye! Okay, hello my pile 3s. So you chose the pile with the Leo, the Scorpio, the Aquarius and the Virgo. And these are your cards. So you have the Lovers. All about what is going to be happening for you in 2026, what's going to be changing. We have the Six of Pentacles, oh, generosity. And I accidentally pulled way too many of these than I meant to, but they just came out, so they're for you. So we have Home. Could I slide it on there? Let me put... Yeah. We have Patience. We have Endless Possibilities, we have Strength, we have Transformation, and we have Cozy. So there's a few different things kind of straight away, I would say, coming in here. What's going to be changing for you next year is definitely a sense of generosity in love, maybe even generosity in finances, or just generosity from the universe in general, because both of these figures kind of have their hands out like this in a way that is kind of like giving higher power guidance or higher power energy, higher power intervention. And then you've got the Endless Possibilities card, and this basically speaks to how vast the universe is, how vast the galaxy is, and how you literally cannot be limited. You have to be limitless because there are limitless possibilities. You can literally achieve everything you want and then some, even if you doubt it. No matter how much you doubt it, it is just true. But things just take time. And so I think you're slowly working towards your goals of reaching financial stability, getting a home, feeling that sense of security and peace because you're in your own home, but you're staying strong and patient in the meantime because it's a slow process. But I think next year you're starting to see how it's progressing. You're starting to kind of open up and blossom a bit. So next year I think you're seeing like, hang on a minute, if I just keep doing this, or like if things keep going the way they're going, it won't be long before I'm where I want to be. Like you're starting to see it unfold. So for example, like I literally just got my dream job in publishing, and so I get to spend all day just helping people write their books, and it's just so fucking fun. And I'm like, hang on a minute, in a few years time I'll be a bloody expert at this and this will be my life. And like it's so like comforting to see that. Like I can see how far I've got to go, but at the minute I can still see the progress around me. So it's things like that. You can see where you're heading if you keep on the same track. So there's a lot of good progress next year where you're starting to see the future unfold for you. I think you are in a tough spot in the sense that you do kind of have to stay patient and strong, because it is something that takes time, and maybe you feel like you just need it now and you just don't feel like you have that time to give. But you definitely do have time. You've got the time to give. Trust me, you'll be fine. if you're patient, if you stay on it, like, you will be okay. It is tough, but you can stick it out because you've got the strength card. And you can especially stick it out with support, typically from like an animal or a pet, because that is the association with this card. But you can stick it out no matter where you find your support or who you find your support in. And with the cozy in the home, I really feel like what's on the horizon for you is you starting a home. I think you're working towards it. I think you're doing certain things, like taking the right steps in terms of your finances to prepare for that inevitable moment where you do get to own your own home. You're taking like the right steps to building a safe and secure space for yourself. I can see with like the transformation card that there's a big glow up for you, and it has something to do with you feeling more peaceful and secure, especially in terms of your money and your environment, so your home environment and your finances. And then I think with the Lovers, I'm seeing different things. So it could be that you're being much more loving to yourself and to others because you feel more peaceful, secure, safe. But on top of that, it could just be that because you're feeling peaceful and secure and safe, you're open to love and you're open to connections with other people or relationships or partnerships. You're just opening up to it and being more accepting of it because you feel like you're in a better spot. But to be honest, it just feels like you being in a loving, happy spot where you're just really happy with the progress you've made, to the point that I think you might be able to extend help to others in terms of showing them the way and showing them how you did it. I think there's a slow transformation for you. It's not going to be like, boom, you've transformed and now you've done a glow up. Like, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be quite slow, quite arduous, quite painful. You know, the caterpillar has to eat a lot, and then it has to sleep for a long time, and it has to cocoon itself, and then it has to try and break out of that cocoon, and only then does it get to be this beautiful butterfly. And it has to rest as well before it takes flight. So there's so many steps to it. So it's a slow progress, but progress is being made in all of these areas, especially in wish and dream fulfillment with the Endless Possibilities card. It's like you have endless stars to wish upon. You have endless dreams that could come true and endless chances to make that happen. And it could all happen for you in 2026. This is like the vibes that I'm getting 100% with your cards. Pay attention to this little subtle signs around you, like maybe a butterfly lands on your window or something, because this is really going to tell you that you're on the right path to achieving these. So I see, lots of, I mean, I do also see tests in the sense of that strength card. I do see tests for you, but I don't think it's anything you can't handle. Okay, yeah, so these are the cards that we've got for you. We've got legal issues, court judges, immigration lawyers, etc. Then we've got jackpot, winning money, got rich, inheritance, unexpected money, and we have broadcast. Yes! Okay, you're like, hang on, why is she cheering for the broadcast? Okay, so the way that I see this is you're moving from one place to another. That's what the transformation card is about. That's what the patience card is about. You're getting, even the strength card, you're moving from one place to the next. Even in the house card, there's individual things living in this house. There's a black cat up here who loves to be on the roof to watch the birds. There's a ghost in here in the book nook who likes to watch the sky. Like, you can move around from place to place, and there's little gravestones here representing that move from one place to the next. And I feel like you're transitioning financially, and with that Six of Pentacles, we know it's into a good place. So you're going to be feeling like you've hit the jackpot because there's something up leveling for you. It could literally be finances because we have broadcast here, then jackpot. So it could literally be your finances are improving next year, but it could also be that you're empty in something, maybe security, you know, maybe feeling comfortable, maybe feeling loved. And then you're going to be feeling like you've won in that area, like you've succeeded, like you've hit the jackpot. And so that is a really amazing thing. You're going to be feeling very rich in life in terms of what's around you, and with these endless possibilities as well. There's going to be a lot of opportunities coming your way. With legal issues, what I see, because of course she's got the scales and the sword, this is someone who fights for justice and fights for balance, and that's very much the energy of the Six of Pentacles. There's also balance and harmony with the Lovers, but with the Six of Pentacles it's like balancing out the score because you're being generous towards others and helping others. So you might be being a bit of an activist next year, maybe trying to help others, support others. You could even maybe be doing something like charity work, or trying to support others in some kind of way, or maybe trying to teach them skills or the ways that you do things to try to show them how they could do it for themselves. But either way, I can see you being quite generous and trying to fight for what's right and stand up for other people as well. Of course yourself, but I do see you standing up for other people next year. And that might require more strength as well, because it's hard to do, but you are probably doing something, especially vocally, I think, because when you think of a lawyer, courts, judges, there's a process to things, but specifically in the way you communicate, in the way you handle things. So maybe the way that you're communicating with people and handling situations has to follow some sort of process in order for you to get the outcome you want. And you're having to be quite particular about the choices you make. It could even be a job thing, like maybe you're having to deal with HR and go through those processes step by step and kind of try to reach like a resolution, but there's a process to follow. So that's kind of the energy that's coming through as well. Like there's something to do with you needing to fix the way that you handle situations so that you can get the best outcome. Not necessarily fix, but change. With the transformation card, maybe just change something. But I see a lot of emphasis on home life. Maybe you're spending more time at home, or maybe you're making progress towards owning your own home or living alone or having the lifestyle you want. Something like that. So yeah, the last thing I want to do for you guys before I end your reading is pull you some advice with the angel dice. So you have the number 25 and we are going to check out what the number 25 means in my little like grimoire notebook. Don't fear change, as new beginnings are around the corner. It's your destiny. Wow. Don't fear change. It's around the corner and it's your destiny. Pause. I'm seeing different things. This could represent you being a bit of a hermit. The cozy and the house could represent your fear of change, your fear to go outside, your fear to seize opportunities and endless possibilities. But it's a part of your destiny with the sort of like the postures of a higher being, providing guidance, providing support, drawing you closer to the thing you're supposed to be with, the thing you're supposed to do in life, your destiny. So there is a lot of progress next year in terms of you coming towards what it is you're destined to be for. And that means a lot of forced, difficult, quite maybe painful transformation along that journey in order to reach your destiny. But it seems to be happening for you, and you need to not be afraid of the changes. So for example, let's say winning the jackpot. It's a big scary change. You don't know what's in store for you. You don't know how people are going to treat you afterwards. You don't know if you're going to lose all your support and friends and family and people around you. With legal issues, it's scary. It's harsh to take on like the legal system and not know if you're going to win, not know what's going to happen. But it seems like these changes are inevitable. And so you need to face them head on, because it's leading you to what you're destined for. And you're destined for all good things, by the way, with the endless possibilities. But there's a lot of growth for you, because with the patience card, there's an element of growth and progress being made. So things are moving for you next year. Things are growing. Things are changing, maybe particularly in your finances. But you're making steady progress towards this. That's crazy. Okay, so that was your reading pile 3. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. If you're drawn to any other piles, feel free to watch those now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Tuesdays and Thursdays for another reading on TìandTarot.